Hi guys, Lindsay here with Storybrook Family Farm. So I thought I'd give you guys a quick update on the progress of our roof. It is 100% done. Like, it feels so satisfying to know that, like, for the next 25-ish years, we don't have to worry about a roof. We don't have to worry about it leaking. We don't have to worry about nothing. So we got all new gutters, and this is the exciting part. So after the roofer had already started working on our place, because he's just like a general contractor type guy, super awesome guy. But anyways, so after he started, I was like, hey, can you possibly like see about putting a back door in our house? Like, we have the door, putting it where the window is at in the back. Could you please, let us know how much that would be? And so today he came, finished the last little odds and ends stuff with the house, and we have a back door. Granted, it's one really big step to get up in there, but that is super duper exciting to us to finally have a back door. So this house only really has like the front door. So if there was like some sort of an emergency or a fire or a gazillion other things, we're kind of screwed. So it's really nice to have a back door, especially since the barn is in the back. So we have to like walk around the entire house every single time that we're going outside, that we're going to check on the animals, that we're going to do stuff. And then from the inside of the house, you then have to walk around every single thing to circle back into the kitchen to like wash your hands, drop produce off, drop eggs off. It makes it so inefficient to have to take an extra, like, and I know this is going to sound like we're just lazy, but to take like an extra 200 steps every single time you're coming in and out of the house, just so that way you can function. It adds up to a lot of time, a lot of frustration, and a lot of wasted energy. Part of why we homestead the way that we do and stuff, like how we're, not why, but how we're able to grow so much and do so much and all that stuff, is by making all of our systems be super duper efficient. So if we can cut out a whole big bunch of wasted time and energy on just making it so we don't have to walk around the entire house to go to the garden, to go to the barn, to go check on things, to go get firewood, it saves so much time and so much energy. It just makes things so much smoother and more efficient. So the next step with the house, there's our wonky shed that's in the way of this shot, but is we are going to see about borrowing a power washer, like a pressure washer thingy. I don't know if they're called power washers or pressure washers. I've heard people call them both things. I don't know if there's a difference, but to give the outside of the house a much needed bath. The reason that we haven't done that yet is because the roof was in such rough shape that we didn't want to possibly like mess it up worse. So the last 2 days, well, not 2 days, because yesterday was a market day that I had to go to by myself because the roofer guy was still working and we didn't want him left alone and stuff. Not that we didn't trust the guy, but he's Amish, so if something would have happened, he would have had to call for a ride, and we'd just much rather have somebody here. Plus, we initially thought yesterday before going to the market that he was going to be able to get the back door done, so Tracy opted to stay home from the market, so I went by myself. It was so weird going by myself, because like last year I had to go to a few by myself because Tracy had to work and stuff, so I've done it before by myself, but this was going to a different market than I've done by myself, and the whole thing was so weird because like this was the biggest like block of time that we've spent away from each other since she quit her job. And that was, I think, May was when she started being home full time. So it's kind of like, it was like really weird because we're that weird couple. I'm being stared at by a turkey. She's hiding right over behind the rabbit tractor. So it was very distracting. But so we're that weird couple that likes to spend like all of our time together. So having it be that we were gone away from each other for like 6 hours and couldn't even like talk to each other really, it was really trippy, especially when it's something that we normally always do together. So it was weird. But so I did the market thing yesterday. Today I've been working outside pretty much all day. I did have to make bread dough for tomorrow's. We're doing like a pop-up market type thing. So that's really exciting. But so I did have to make some dough today. Tracy helped out with that. She made about half of it and I made the other half. Just so that way, because she spent a bunch of time outside working on the tree hay. So she was tired of being outside, tired of being in the sun, and I didn't want to be inside. So we opted to switch today. Thankfully, I've been working on teaching how to make dough. So you guys buy bread from us this weekend? You're actually probably tasting Tracy's dough making ability, so that's fun. So this is the small pile of tree hay that we have left. It was pretty massive prior to Tracy getting her hands on it today. So while Tracy was working on all of that, I was working on doing more firewood. So how we have our tree hay stored is just, might be too dark in here. We have it hanging from like the rafter things of this little like canopy shed thingy. They're called a Shelter Logic, that's the name of the brand. So they're relatively easy to put up, relatively cheap, and they ought to last us a good few years until we have time to build like a metal roof, like shop type thing. So I've been very busy. Most of that stack is just from like the last couple days. So it is, come in here to see if the lighting's better if I come all the way to the back. So this stack here, it's on a pallet, obviously, and it is, you know, about hip high, and it is, I think when I measured this row here, it's like 12 feet long, something like that. So this is just, I have it organized. This is all stuff that's for this year. So I have it organized of things that have been split, and then this side over here is things that are round and small enough to burn on their own. So all this stuff is all just from trees that are already down here. Like, that's why I've said in previous videos that this is why we opted to use wood as our primary heat source, is because there's so much wood that is already here, that is already seasoned, that is already ready to go. All we have to do is put a little sweat equity into it to get it like ready to be burned. So this pile here, I'll squat down beside it. It is probably about hip high, actually, like the other pile over there, almost. And it is a full pallet depth. So it's got quite a lot of logs on it, and I just broke down and buffed a few more small trees that were like, we have these really sad trees. I think they're sad. They feel sad to me. You know how like when half of a tree kind of like falls in the forest and it gets hung up on another tree and it ends up hanging there for eons and eons and eons, and then it dies, and then it gets seasoned and it's nice and dry and all that stuff. I always feel really sad. Like those trees make me feel so sad because they're just like stuck there, hanging there and stuff, waiting to be used, which makes me excited, honestly, because of the fact that, like, you know, we eat with wood. But so it makes me sad for the tree that it is hung up on. Like over here, there was, this hill is kind of steep. Clearly, I am not like in the greatest of shape. Need a moment. All right, so we're good. So this tree here was one of the sad trees. It had a tree that was down this way that shot up through it and was like wedged in this crotch of the tree here and like hanging upwards and outwards and stuff. And it seemed really sad because like that puts a heck of a lot of stress and strain on that small tree. And, you know, the tree basically is sending out an SOS saying, Lindsay, please help me, save me. You know, so now I'll probably seem like the craziest person out there. But so over here is another one of those trees. I don't know how well it's going to be picked up on camera. So if you guys can't see it, then it's right up there. I am not standing underneath of it. It just looks like I am. So it's hung up on a maple tree up here. But this here, it is completely and utterly ready and raring to go to be turned into firewood. If I can get up here, that would be great. So I've joked around about how there's so many blackberries here that it's almost invasive, and it literally is. Like, there's so many different like blackberries and black raspberry plants that you can't walk through the woods. So that's why I've been working on making paths to get through. But like, see this tree here? Now you guys can see how it's hung up. This is all like completely seasoned. It's dry and it's ready to be burned. I could probably actually, better not do that while I'm alone. Tracy's at the store getting a new doorknob for our new back door because this one, the lock did not work, and we don't feel comfortable leaving the house alone for hours on end with nobody there and doors being unlocked. All is crazy. But yeah, so this tree is barely like hanging up in the maple tree up above it. Like I just touched my hand on it and the whole thing started creaking. That's why I decided to walk away, so I don't get crushed like a pancake when nobody else is here. Whew. So I did have Willie help stack the firewood that I've been working on back here where the neighbor's tree fell over the property line. So this here is the nice stack, and this is stuff that's most likely going to be just for next year. But so we got a nice little stack there. Since we've not heated with wood before, we have no idea how much firewood we're going to need. We've asked multiple people, including the Amish roofer, how much he thinks that we would need and how much different people think we would need. And basically the general consensus is no one knows, because no one has, done this house before. No one has used this particular wood burner before. And there's so many different variables, and of course, wintertime can be a variable all in itself, because some years it's mild, some years it's, hot, some years it's really bad. You get the point. You've lived in the world around us enough times to know that things are unpredictable. But so I'm just working tirelessly on trying to get more firewood, so that way we know for sure that we are good, because it's not like it's going to expire or anything. So like I can just get as much as I can, and then if we don't use it all this year, well, then that's less we got to do next year. So that's always a nice thing too. But like this tree here, this piece that I'm holding on to, it's dead. It's completely dead. There's no bark on this side here. So that's going to be turned into firewood, and it is, well, probably 50 feet tall. So I mean, that's a lot of logs, and that's a lot of firewood and stuff. So it's just one of the very sustainable ways that we're trying to keep running our homestead and keep doing different things, is by not killing things if we don't have to. Just gathering the resources that are all around us. Oh, that's a sad tree. I just noticed, you guys probably won't be able to see it. This tree right here, about 10 feet up, there is some jerk face tied a string around it, and the tree is like growing around the string, and the tree is almost dead because of that. There's a lot of that here. People that lived here previously, not the people that we just bought it from, but lived before that, they have damaged and harmed and killed a lot of trees by tying things around them, like chains and cables and zip lines, and just, it makes me sad. I don't know. I'm too connected to nature, I suppose, to not get bothered by things like this, but it's part of why our homestead runs differently than others. But anyways, so I'm going to get back to working on the chainsaw stuff. I did, whenever I came out to start filming, I did bring a battery with me, so that way, because my chainsaw did run out of juice, I use a Ryobi battery operated one, so it's nice and quiet and doesn't cost us a lot of gas money or anything of the sort, because it's rechargeable. So that's always nice. But I did misplace my battery, so I'm gonna have to go searching for it. Hopefully it's in an easy spot to find. Alright, so if you're enjoying my content, please give my videos a thumbs up, share it with your friends on social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to help us grow. We greatly appreciate each and every new subscriber that we get. We're just very heartfelt people that are trying to show a different way of life on the internet. So, alright, thanks for watching. Have a good one, guys.